Eating habits for a tiger are different from eating habits for a boy. And other animals? Eating habits for a chimpanzee are different from those for a girl. Good eating habits for people at the zoo are different from those for people at a restaurant. Good eating habits for people in our country may be different from eating habits for people in another country. Good eating habits depend on the time, the place, and the people. They're different in various parts of the world. They're different in various parts of our country, too. Good eating habits are special things we do at the table to make mealtime more pleasant. In our part of the world, there are certain eating habits that most people follow. We all wash our hands before a meal. Why? We get dirty during the day. If dirt gets in our mouths while we're eating, it can make us sick. So we wash off the germs and dirt before we begin to eat. Another good eating habit is not to say bad things about the food. It can make a meal unpleasant for everyone. We may not like all the food on our plate, but we ought to try them all. Why? For good health. Our bodies need different kinds of food to keep us healthy and strong. Eating many kinds of food helps us feel better. Try not to waste food. Taking big bites won't make us feel better. Food that's not cut small enough or chewed long enough has to be gulped down. And that's hard on the stomach and may make us sick. Cutting food small enough and chewing it long enough make eating easier and more pleasant. It's not much fun to look at a mouthful of food, is it? That's one good reason to get in the habit of chewing with our mouths closed. After chewing the food well, it's a good idea to swallow it completely before taking a drink. It's easier to digest, and it may prevent choking. It doesn't look very good to see food scraps dropped all over the place or picked up off the floor. When we keep our food on the plate, it can't get all over our clothes and the table and floor, right? Talking about pleasant eating, it's no fun to hear arguing and shouting when we're trying to eat. That's why we make a habit of talking pleasantly at the table, without shouting or interrupting, even though it's hard sometimes. There may be times when it's fun to get excited and play around, but not at the table. Sometimes we get careless, don't we? Things get messed up or spilled. A good way to avoid that is to move food where it won't be knocked over. But if things are spilled, we have something to clean up with. What is it? Do you remember? A napkin. We keep it on our laps in case food spills or falls, and we use it to wipe our mouths and hands. Another good idea is not to fill up on snacks or sweets between meals. Otherwise, we won't be hungry at mealtimes. Those are some good eating habits. There are lots of others. Watching an adult with good manners is one way to learn good eating habits. Your family may have special ways of eating certain foods, and that's all right. Family customs differ. Remember, good eating habits depend on the place, the food, and the people. At home, we almost always eat with knives, forks, and spoons, and we laugh and talk together. At a restaurant, we speak more quietly, so we won't disturb other people. We always have a knife, fork, and spoon. At a picnic, it's all right to eat some foods without a knife and fork, and we can get up and move around while we eat. At school, it's not a good idea to get up and run around during lunch. We eat pretty much like we do at home. At home, though, there are some times when we have other eating habits, aren't there? Your family may have a meal watching TV. And what about when we have a party at home? Good eating habits are a little different then, too. Some noise and playing around are fine. Good eating habits depend upon where we are eating. We learn to eat the way people here do, not the way animals do. For people in other parts of the world, and for some people here, eating habits may be different from ours. But we live here and now, with our food and our ways of eating it. We learn good eating habits when we're young, and we use them all our lives.